All right, so give me the top 5 things that Long Beach residents can do to green up and healthy up their life.
Well, I think there are a lot more than 5 things that Long Beach residents can do, and I think that it's not just Long Beach residents. I think it's across the board. It's global what people can do. But we're very lucky in Long Beach in that, well, for starters, we're flat land, so we don't have to worry about riding our bikes up and down hills. So that would be the obvious first thing: is ditch your car whenever you can and ride your bike. I try to base my life around riding my bicycle, and once you get into the routine, you'll find that it's a lot easier than you think. And it'll make you feel good about yourself, and it'll make you feel good about doing something for your local community, and it'll make you feel good about cleaning up the air for your children, for yourself and for your children. We've got a very well laid out bike path. Well, it's getting better and better every day. 2nd Street has its own bike path now. So you just need to get out there, get on your bike, put your helmet on, and ride it. If you are in the position that you can't ride your bike, you need to go to work fresh and clean. How about public transportation? We have a great bus in the Passport, and we also have the regular city bus. All you have to do is get on the internet, find out the schedule, and start taking it. Another obvious to me, another obvious thing that we can do is reduce our consumption of plastics. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Recycling is good, but if you can reduce your usage of plastic, it's even better. Much of the plastic that we take to the recycling center doesn't even find its way into the recycling loop. But one good thing that you can do, which is easy, is you can get a reusable bottle. You can go to any local store and get a metal bottle, and you've already reduced your plastics consumption there. One thing about plastic is that it is a petrochemical byproduct, and what we want to do is we want to reduce our dependence on any kind of petrochemical or any petrochemical byproduct. So by reducing your usage of any kind of plastic, you would be helping the world at large. Also, there's a very big problem with plastic products with bisphenol A, BPA, that's capital B, capital B, capital A. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your children, especially to Google that, BPA, and find out just what is in this plastic that you're using, especially when you heat the plastic that contains BPA, it leaches toxic chemicals into the food. Reduce the use of microwaves, if at all possible. Heat things in glass when you can. Another way that you can green your lifestyle is you can use chemical-free household cleaners.
All right.
And I know where you can get them. You can come to Farmers Market on Wednesday afternoon. Again, you can reduce your consumption of chemicals that you use inside the house. Indoor pollution is not something that's highly publicized, but it is there and it's very dangerous. And again, you owe it to yourself, but you especially owe it to your children to find out what you're subjecting them to within your house. Another one that's dear to me is eat organic food. We have 2 organic, well, not specifically organic, but we have 2 farmers markets in Long Beach. We have one on Sunday mornings and we have one on Wednesday afternoons at the top of the Marine Stadium. A lot of the food is certified organic, and I particularly look for organic food because in order to sell at an organic market, you have to grow the food within 100 miles of where it's sold. So that says to me that I'm helping to reduce the carbon footprint of the food that I buy. I am supporting local farmers. I'm keeping the money within my own community, and it's not going to multinational corporations like Dole, who has to grow their food south of the equator or South America and ship it to me. And also a very important factor about eating organic is that when you reduce the usage of chemicals and pesticides on the land upon which you're growing, you are also helping in the bigger picture by reducing ocean pollution, because whatever you put on the land will eventually become runoff, either in the storm drains like we have in Long Beach or in the Mississippi River, and it will make its way to the ocean and it will pollute our oceans. I won't get into what happens when our oceans become polluted, because you can research that for yourself. But just remember that whatever goes on your land, whether it's your grass in front of your home or whether it's the farmer who is using pesticides, herbicides, and chemicals, it's going to make its way into the ocean, into our food chain, which is going to make its way into your system and your children's system. So please try and support organic farmers. The last and probably most important thing that you can do for yourself is you can seek alternative sources of information. We are subjected to mainstream media, which is normally an 8-second sound bite. And in 8 seconds, you can't really learn a lot. And also in the mainstream media, what they tell us, the consuming public, is what their supporters want us to hear. The people who pay to advertise on their networks. And I do not want to hear what a multinational corporation chooses for me to hear. I much prefer to make my own decisions. So I seek alternative sources of information, such as KPFK, which is a radio station, one of the 5 independent radio stations left in the United States. It's at 90.7 on your FM dial, and there are all kinds of interesting programs throughout the day that you can listen to. There's one that's particularly interesting called Page to Pantry. That's Page to Pantry. You can Google it and find out when it's aired, and it's full of great information. Another way you can seek alternative information is, and I'm not suggesting that you give up going to your doctor, your family doctor. What I'm suggesting, though, is that maybe you find alternative sources for medical care to complement what your doctor is telling you, such as a chiropractor or a naturopath. And very often you can find a chiropractor who is a naturopath, and they can advise you and give you a complimentary source of information for anything that ails you. Again, you owe this to yourself, all 5 of these. You owe this to yourself, and you owe it to your family. If nothing else motivates you to change the way you live your life, look at your children and think of their future, and ask yourself if you really want them to grow up having to question what's in their water. Check out fluoride while you're at it. What's in their water, what's in the air they breathe, what's in the indoor air they breathe, and what's in the food they're being forced to eat. So if it's not for you, it's for them.